right. Welcome to our team call, everyone. It is April 20th, and our big announcement, you guys all know, is it is Customer Appreciation Week. So for all of us on the call tonight, all of your customers, preferred customers, they get free shipping on their orders this week. So be sure to let your customers know. I've had people asking me if I still use the Hit 'em Up app. I do still use that, you guys. Doesn't matter what you use to send messages out. If you like to text message, Facebook message, voice message, just get the messages out, because a lot of people, when they learn they can save a little extra money, they're all about it. And how many of you guys have ISA delivery? We get to save money too. So it's like so cool. And guys, ISA delivery is something you need to be talking up. You know, this is my verbiage around ISA delivery is we have an app just like Amazon Prime. We have a shipping program just like Amazon Prime. It actually costs the same as Amazon Prime. You simply pay for your shipping once and then you never have to pay for it for an entire year. So most of the people I get started as customers get ISA delivery so that they don't have to worry about shipping. And if they just want to order one product, they can and never have to deal with shipping. So great Customer Appreciation Week. So let your customers know. Next week, we're going to have an Isagenix Live on Tuesday. They're going to come out with a spring catalog, some new products for us. It's going to be a great week next week as well. This is the last week for ISA Rally. If you guys are still going for a prize, if you're going for the trip, type in the chat box. What are you going for? Are you going for tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4? Type it in the chat box. Are you going for the trip? I know there is one team that just went all the way up to 12th place today, broke into the top 20. Junto Mafia is their name. So you guys, we are so excited for you. Congratulations, way to go. We've got another Junto Rise team that's real close to breaking into the top 20 as well. So super, super excited about that. So last week for that. So if you guys are going for one of those tiered gifts, this is it. This is the last week. I know a lot of people were like all about that backpack, the North Face backpack, because we don't get enough backpacks in Isagenix, right, you guys? You know, we don't have enough, but we always want more, right? That's me. I'm talking to myself here. All right, you guys. So you've heard me talk and talk and talk about the importance of mindset. And I will talk about this until I am no longer on this earth, because mindset is absolutely critical to every aspect of your life, to relationships, to money, to your business success, to everything. And that is why I have spent so many years of my life in personal development. I have attended so many conferences. I actually went through certification to become a certified mindset coach along with our other speakers today. So what I did was I asked Susan Wheeler, John Stankiewicz, and Tyler Walter, who all are certified mindset coaches as well, to help me. And what I did was a little bit of research, and many of you probably are on lots of email lists. Well, I'm on an email list, and every once in a while I get these emails that are so helpful. And I got one last week, and I kind of saved it on my computer thinking, this is a good one. I want to bring this up. Didn't know what I would bring it up for, whether it would be a live I would be doing or an email I'd send out. And last night, I had a really great talk with my son about mindset. And then this morning, it came up with my daughter. She did a meditation in the HHP group all about your mindset around health. So if you guys have not checked that out, search for Monday Meditation. It's a really great meditation on health and your mindset around it. And so this is Napolean Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich. He interviewed 500 self-made millionaires and came up with 13 principles. And no one's prepared for this, you guys. We haven't talked about this. We haven't prepared for this. But the reason I asked these guys to help me with this is because between the four of us, these are all principles that we use every single day in our Isagenix business. So we're going to talk about them, and hopefully you guys will get some really great nuggets tonight of things that you can do, implement. Some of this stuff might be like, yes, I do that. And you know, atta girl, atta boy, I do that. Some of these things you might be like, all right, that's something I can do and take action on. All right. So I'm going to, you guys are just going to have to keep unmuting. I'll call on you individually. But the first principle is called desire. You have to want it. So let's start off. I'm going to have Tyler, you take this first one. How important is desire and having to want it to your success in Isagenix?
Good question. All right, so let's do a little exercise. Everyone that is listening, please help me out in the chat here. What are the biggest obstacles or struggles to reaching your goals or success in this business? What are the biggest obstacles? What are the things you're facing on a day-to-day basis? The conversations you're having, people not having money, the products, working full time, not having rejection. I have a job, family, hesitation. What are all these things? People not having money, self-talk, rejection, limited belief, time, rejection, cost. You guys are doing an awesome job. Every single one of them knows what?
An excuse.
It's a belief. It's not real. None of it's actually real. Like it's all belief. And working on these beliefs, which we're talking about tonight, is a difficult thing to do. There's going to be things tonight that you're hearing, you're like, I know this, I've heard this, but are you actually implementing it? You might not be, because it's hard to actually go do the hard work of identifying these limiting beliefs you have and why you're not having success you're having, why you're not taking action. It's hard. And if you don't have a big goal or a big dream or a big vision pulling you, you won't do the work. You simply will not. You won't do the hard work of sitting alone in your thoughts in a dark room with a journal for 30 minutes and finding out what are these limiting beliefs that are holding you back. And you're not going to face the fear of rejection, because it's natural. It's natural to feel fear of rejection. It's biologically in us. If we get rejected, thousands of years ago, it meant we got kicked out of our tribe, which meant certain death, right? So it's natural to fear rejection. It's natural to fear judgment. And it's hard work to get over these things. The business is easy. The self-growth that's needed to be successful in the business is hard. And if you don't have a strong desire, you will not do the work. So all these things that you're struggling with in the chat are simply a lack of desire to do the work, or maybe you are doing the work and you just haven't overcome it yet. But if you're struggling with this constantly, you've been running in circles for months and years, you just don't have a big enough desire. So Grant Cardone always talks about 10x your goals. Whatever your goal is, if your goal is to make $10,000 this year with Isagenix, maybe shoot for 6 figures. And if you fall short by $40,000, oh well. But what happens is the bigger your goals are, the bigger your dreams are, the less of these small problems that you deal with. These just fall away. They go by the wayside, and there's a lot less competition for the bigger goals. You don't have to. There's a lot of people out there, trying to just get by the skin of their teeth right now. There's not that many people trying to thrive. So if you have a big desire for your life, big goal, big dreams, big vision, you have the vision pulling you, you'll be set. You won't deal with any of these things. It's willpower is pushing you, and willpower never lasts. You can't push yourself to success. The vision, desire, it pulls you, and you can definitely pull your way there. So that's the purpose of desire.
Awesome. All right, guys, the second principle is faith. And Susan, I'm going to have you take this one, because you have to believe you can achieve it. So Tyler kind of mentioned belief, and you talk and train on this one a lot. So how important is belief, Susan?
Well, I belief, I think, is so important, and faith is having belief in something that you can't see. And that is so important. But what I really want to say is you have to envision it. So I remember specifically when I wanted to hit 5-star, I was not close. And I picked a week because I thought it would be cool. It was my 55th birthday, and my birthday was on the 5th, and 5-star. I just said, wow, the 5s are lining up. I'm going to go for it. And I honestly had no idea how I would get there, but I started out the week saying, this is what I'm going to do. Somehow, some way, I'm going to do this. And all I did was concentrate on what I was capable of doing. All I could do is what I could do. I couldn't worry about the outcome. I could only worry about the steps I could take to get there. And that is faith. Faith, you have to really believe in it before you see it, but envision what you want. So you don't, blind faith doesn't really work here. You can't just say, oh, it'll happen, and not be driven towards something. So I think faith is so important. So important.
And kind of piggybacking on that, because it did say, believe you can achieve it. You always talk about your beliefs. You have to be a 10 out of the 10 for new people. Just run through that real quick.
Yeah, so I always say that when I'm talking to people and they're struggling in any part of their business, I say you need to be a 10 across the board. So you have to be a 10 belief in this company of Isagenix. You have to be a 10 in the products, believe in the products. You have to be a 10 in network marketing. And you have to be a 10 in believing in yourself. And then you have to be a 10 in believing in yourself as a network marketer. So if any of those fall out of alignment, I want you to think about those and write them down, because it is important. You might see Tyler being successful, or Cindy, or John, or anyone that's on this phone call. There's so many successful people on this phone call. You might see them and think, well, they can do it. But if you don't believe you can do it, that's where you're struggling. So I always like to look at what other people are doing and say, oh, well, if they can do it, it's possible. Like last week when we had Cody and Richard, pouring that belief into us. And if anyone, in a week, they just said, okay, this is the week, we're going to hit executive. They did it. Right? So you've got to look at that and not say, if you're saying, well, Cody could do it and Richard could do it, but I could never do it. Check yourself. That's where you need to up your belief.
Amen. Awesome. Well said. All right, John, yours is a little trickier, but you're up for the challenge. Number 3 is auto-suggestion. Use affirmations to reach your goals. And, tell us a little bit. Do you use affirmations? Do you speak positive affirmations every day in your life? I think, this kind of talks a little bit about that, in having, being positive and speaking that over, but share with us, what do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know a couple of people on this call have listened to the tape, Your Wish is Your Command. And the whole theme behind it is really like what you desire and what you wish for, it's yours. But you have to get your mentality and how you feel about it in alignment. So where that all begins is first, like we said, with the desire. That's the first step. What do you desire? Get clear on what you want. And then with faith, we've seen all the other people do it before us. We've seen Cindy go millionaire. We've seen my mom go 5-star. We've seen Tyler crush his business, Cody, so many people. So use that as your faith. But then daily, it's just visiting. Like a lot of people, what I do personally is I envision it in my head. Like I have a set of affirmations that I have memorized. And I'll literally just sit there with my eyes closed and think about one of them is becoming one of the top influencers in the field of network marketing. And I'll think about it, but I'll actually feel like it's already happening. And I'll see myself in that position. I'll see myself speaking on the stages. I'll see myself on calls, leading a huge group and a huge movement of people. And if you guys aren't plugged into the law of attraction, a lot of people think it's hokey and kind of corny, but it is it's just as true as the law of gravity is, honestly. And you look back, and I look back at my story and the significant moments I had in my life when I sent out those powerful signals to the universe. And like one of them, after I got kicked out of school, I decided I was going to become successful. No idea how I was going to do it, but I knew that I was going to make it happen, and I felt that I'd make it happen. When I couldn't afford to get into college, I knew that I was going to make sure finances would never dictate the decisions I would make the rest of my life. No idea how I was going to do it, but I felt it, and I knew it in my head. And that's the first step in just repeating that, guys, because if you get in alignment with your thoughts and your feelings, magical stuff starts to happen. The right opportunities start attracting into your life, the right people, and then that's when things start coming together. So figure out what works for you. For me, this really comes down to, like, I practice gratitude all the time. When I wake up first thing in the morning, I look around, and before I think about anything else, I think about the things that I'm grateful for to start the day on the right note. But just getting in your head what it is that you want to achieve, and just thinking about it obsessively. That's really it. And the right things will start to attract to make it happen. You're muted, Cindy.
Thank you. Sorry. I heard background noise here, and I didn't want you to get distracted by that. All right. So number 5 is imagination. Visualize your success. So I'll just take that one because you've already heard everyone say it already. If you do not visualize what you want, it's going to be much harder for you to have it. So what I would do early on in my journey with Isagenix, I visualized being on stage. You know, recognition, like being on stage and being recognized, isn't my, I guess, love language. I like to be on stage to be a trainer and a speaker. So I would visualize myself on stage, training and speaking and pouring out my heart. I visualized myself being moved to tears on stage. Like, I visualized it so much until it finally happened. And, you know, that whole law of attraction thing John just talked about, it's so very true. So you've heard enough on imagination. We're going to move on to number 6, organized planning. You must take action. Tyler, I'm going to have you take this. Instead of getting ready to get ready to get ready, let's talk about taking action.
Cool. And I just wanted to take one second to add one last piece to what John and Mom just said. If you think of God or the universe, whatever your beliefs are, if you think of that, the only answer God can say is yes. Think about that when it comes to your beliefs and what you ask for and what you say about yourself. The only answer is yes. So John could say, I got kicked out of school, I'm a deadbeat. And God would say, yes, you're right. Or John could say, like, I don't have money to afford school, I'm always going to be in financial struggle. And he'll say, yeah, you're right. Or John could say, I got kicked out of school, this is the turning point, I'm going to be successful. And he would say, yeah, you're right. That's the power of the words you speak and the thoughts you have. The answer is always yes. The answer for what you say is always yes. Now, once you have...
You guys, write that down. The answer is always yes. Write that one down.
Richard Lynn, by the way, I don't know where you got that, dude. That was incredible. Read Richard's post today. He went into that a little bit more in depth. He said he got it from Napoleon Hill, actually. I don't think I've heard that one before, but it's so good. So props to Richard on that one. But once you have all this hokey stuff down, right? The actual, like, all right, this stuff in my head, I'm getting my beliefs right. You got to actually put rubber to pavement. You have to do something. Not everything to this point means nothing if you just sit at home all day and wish for success and think about it. And that's a big thing. And when ask and you shall receive, or your wish is your command, only applies if you ask and then do, or if you wish and then you do. And just if you have no vision, you don't know where you're going. But that's so important. But then following that, if you don't have a plan to get there, you don't know where you're going either. Think about a ship at sea. If the ship leaves harbor and has no idea that the course has not been charted, they're going to end up dying at sea. They don't know where they're going. And that's so much. How much do we go through life without a plan, right? It's crazy. Like when I started this business in January of 2017, I knew where I wanted to go. You know, Mom and John had painted a picture for me of what I wanted in life, and I saw where I wanted to go. So I was like, yeah, I'll just do it. It'll happen. And 8 months had gone by, and I was making some extra money, and it was nice, and I was learning a lot of things, but I wasn't much closer to having the life I wanted. I was still kind of at square one, and I never had a plan. I didn't have a plan of when I was going to hit executive or how I was going to get there or who I was going to talk to get there. I didn't have a plan for my personal development. I just read when I could or listened to an audio when I could. There was no plan. And therefore, it's inconsistent. No lack of plan leads to lack of consistency because you only have so much brain power. You can only make so much decisions during a day. And if you can systemize parts of your day to free up mental energy, you go to a whole new level. I mean, that's as simple as like when you have to think for 20 minutes about what you're going to wear in the morning, that's 20 minutes of your life you'll never get back and a lot of mental energy you'll never get back. Like give yourself some less options so you have something to choose from. But it's the same thing for this business. Like if you have 7 billion people in the world you could talk to, that's a little bit overwhelming. Like you have no plan, but you say, okay, my plan today is to contact 3 people like me, 3 moms in the community or 3 people I went to school with. And you have a plan of how you're going to get there. You know exactly what to do. And that way, when you sit down at your desk, even if you have 15 minutes, those 15 minutes are productive. You're not spending that time thinking about what you might do. If you have an organized plan, the hours you put towards this part-time business of yours can take you to whole new heights, completely new heights. You'll soar to new heights. But if you spend half of your time dedicated to those business, just thinking, you're not getting anywhere. So you have to have a plan so that when you sit down to work, you know where you're going. You have to have a plan to how you're going to get to executive, what date you're going to get there, the actions you need to take, and you reverse engineer everything backwards. So if your goal is 3-star, you know that you need X amount of people in your network to do that. You know that you need to enroll, let's say it's 100 people to do that. And right now you have 20. So you have to enroll 80 people. And if your goal is to do it in 2 years, that means you have to enroll 40 people per year. And if your goal is 40 people per year, that's, what is that? Almost one a week, right? One enrollment a week. And then okay, if I have to get one enrollment a week, I need to get 5 people on the phone per week. And you just chunk it down backwards, and you get down to the actual actions you need to take. And then when you sit down at your desk, and instead of looking at hitting 3-star, you're looking at get 5 people on the phone this week. That's not very overwhelming. That's pretty easy, and we can all do that. So that's the power of a plan, and that's why all of us need to go through and implement it. So your plan might look different than somebody else's, but you got to have one. And you got to have one not just for the business, but for your personal development, for your relationships. I plan everything, and I don't stick to it perfectly. I wish I was perfect, but I do always have a plan I can go back to.
Awesome. All right. And for those of you that I totally messed up and you're OCD and you're like, I missed number 4, so sorry. So number 1 is desire. Number 2 is faith. Number 3 is auto-suggestion. Somehow I passed right over 4, which is specialized knowledge, gaining experiences and continued learning. So that one is all about, to this day, the 4 of us, we're certified mindset coaches. Every single one of us always has our nose in a book. We are always listening to podcasts. We are always doing everything we can to continue learning. We still get on Isagenix calls that are things that we probably already know about because someone might give us an idea that might help us take our business to the next level. So the continued learning is so very important. So that's number 4, specialized knowledge. Number 5 was imagination, visualizing your success. And then what Tyler just talked about, number 6, organized planning and taking action. All right, we're caught up. Thanks, Gina, for catching that for me. Number 7, Susan, how important is it to just make a decision? For Pete's sakes, forget about procrastination, be decisive and make a decision, which is number 7.
Gosh, didn't we have a coach once that told us to stop getting ready to get ready, to get ready, to get ready?
Free Combs, I think it was.
Yeah. So it's so true. You just have to decide. For whatever reason, I can make a decision. Yep, I'm going to do it, or no, I'm not. And I just do it. So I think a lot of us, the longer you take to make a decision, the more time negativity has to seep in. And if you think about, have you ever talked to someone to get them started with Isagenix, right? And they're so excited and they're ready to go, but they're gonna call you tomorrow with their credit card, right? And then they go home and they get some little negativity. Maybe their husband or wife says, you're really going to spend that money? You remember last time you tried that? Or, or maybe you want to run it by your doctor. You're all excited. And then your doctor says, oh, that's not a good idea. And it can really be anything, but that's happened to all of us, right? But if they had made a decision and stuck it out, and, I've had people that I've gotten started that made a decision, got started, and before their products came, they thought, oh gosh, as soon as they come, I'm sending them back. But they had jumped in already. Then the products came, and then they thought, well, I'm going to give it a try. And so they do, and then they start having some results. So it's really important. We can see that. Anyone that's enrolled people, I'm sure, nod your head if anything like this has ever happened or you've seen it happen, right? It's happened to all of us. So this is just like one little incident that I'm talking about, enrolling somebody, but it's just like anything. If you don't make a decision to go to get more training, to go to a conference, to attend a phone call, you have to put things down. You have to make a decision and then figure it out. And then figure it out later. And really, it all starts with the decision. If you can make a decision and show up for whatever that decision is you made, you're 75% of the way there. The rest is easy.
Yeah. And it is so easy to procrastinate, you guys. I get a lot of people ask me that question a lot. How do I get over procrastination? And You know, I just tell people, I view myself as the do it now girl. I get it done now. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it right now before I talk myself out of it. And it can be as easy as getting up and working out in the morning. There's days, as much as I love to work out, you guys, there's days I don't want to work out. There's days I'm tired. I might not have gotten enough sleep. The birds chirping woke me up at 5 o'clock in the morning in the backyard. And I'm like, oh, I just get my shoes on, make my pre-workout drink before I have time to talk myself out of it and just do it. So if you can become a just do it person, it will totally benefit you. Awesome. All right, number 8, John, I'm going to have you take persistence. This one is don't stop until you get what you want. How important is it to be persistent as you pursue your Isagenix business?
So important. And feeding off my mom, making decision, law of attraction, how it all ties together, you know. I decided I wanted a puppy. I put the signal out to the universe, and look, I'm holding a puppy, guys. So that's how it all works. It's magic. But
I was hoping the puppy would show up at some point.
I had to. So persistence, and if for those of you who have read my book or just know my story, that's kind of the underlying theme of it all, because I've been in network marketing technically for 8 years now. For those of you who have heard me talk about it, Cindy and my mom had brought me Isagenix right off the bat as an 18-year-old little reluctant troublemaker, and I completely disregarded it coming from them. And then I went away to school that fall, and my best friend came to me with a different network marketing opportunity. And since it was my best friend, I was so open to it and was amazed by what it had to offer. So I joined that company first, and I learned so much, but didn't really have the best experience from it. And ultimately ended up leaving the company because I didn't see it sticking around for the long run. And at that moment, I could have just been like, you know what, network marketing is not for me, whatever. And I had always, I kind of took a break, but I always kept in my mind because I knew the power of it. I knew, I saw people who are traveling the world, being their own bosses, creating residual income, all the things that we're attracted to from this business, and kept it in the back of my head and just continued to push forward on that entrepreneur route, whether it was flipping textbooks or starting bus companies or trading stocks, sports jerseys, whatever it was. I stayed on that entrepreneurial route. And then the timing, just for staying focused and staying in that lane, the timing just worked out where network marketing became something where I was ready for again and ready to receive and ready to go out to the world and build my organization. And if it hadn't been for persistence and staying in that entrepreneurial realm, I wouldn't be here right now. I literally wouldn't be speaking to you. I wouldn't have been able to help people with their health, with their energy, with losing weight, with putting on muscle, with creating extra income. And that's persistence. Literally, I always love to use stories and analogies to get my points across, but that's really it right there. So you guys need to understand, look, everyone that you're seeing that's a top leader has gone through the trials and tribulations. They've brought on people who they thought were going to be their next big business builder who've quit and disappointed them. They've talked to their best friends who all laughed them out of a room, and they've grown and just created and attracted new people into their business. I don't even want to read the comments because I see Cody laughing and I'm just like, but that's really the truth, guys. You staying in this game, you're going to develop the skills. All of the things leading up to this, I'm noticing this is a real sequential buildup for what we're discussing. You're going to start attracting the right people into your life and building that right community and finding those right leaders to align with. But it all takes you sticking with it and just doing the do and never quitting, because the only way you can fail this business is quitting. So you got to stay doing the actions because it's eventually going to come together. There's no other answer than yes. All right, Tyler?
I love it. And, if I were to ask everybody who's a leader on this Zoom right now, have you ever felt like quitting? I bet everybody would say yes. At least once I felt like quitting, giving up, a no hurt. I took it personally, but that persistence, day in and day out, going back to your belief and your faith and your desire, all of those things. Do not quit and you will have results. All right. Number 9, I'm going to take. This one is power of the mastermind. Surround yourself with people that have what you want, you guys. And so when you heard Tyler came in to the business, he saw John, and John had what he wanted, and that was what he desired. So that's what he went after. That's exactly what I did when I got started. I went to our first conference. Susan and Val and I went to Phoenix for our very first conference, and I saw people that had what I wanted, and I modeled them. I surrounded myself with them. I am not surrounding myself right now with people who are living in fear, who are negative about what's going on right now. I'm not doing that. I am surrounding myself with people who are positive, who want to grow through this, who get puppies, who are doing more personal development now than ever, who are working out hard, who are taking their health more seriously. That's who I surround myself with. So if you want success in this business, your circle of 5, you guys, you've heard it said a million times, it's got to be people who will bring you up to the next level. You do not want to hang around people who do not have what you want, and you certainly don't want to take advice from them. That's what we tend to do. We take advice from people who don't have what we want, and we cannot do that. Only take advice from people who have what you want. We'll end on that. All right, number 10. This one we're going to skip over. I'm going to mention it, but we're not going to settle here. This one was choose a compatible partner, and it talked about your spouse, your relationships, and how important that partner is in order for your success. And I agree with that for sure. But I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time there. So we've got single people on the line tonight. So for you single people, it's certainly very, very important who you choose to spend your life with. For those of us that have been married, gosh, the best decision I ever made was marrying someone that wanted to see me grow and wanted to see, we've brought the best out in each other over the years, and we wish that for everyone. That's not always the case for people. And if that's not the case, what's so cool is you do have a choice of who that 5 is, who your 5 is. So that's where you really need to choose wisely. All right, number 11, Tyler, we'll come back to you. The subconscious mind, master positivity and dismiss negativity. I'll let you take that one.
Okay. And I love talking about these philosophies so much that I have to go back. I'm sorry to keep doing this. I know you want
All right.
Specialized knowledge we skipped over quickly. That, I learned something recently from a book I read called Sapiens that was really groundbreaking for me. And a couple of people that I talked to have heard me say this 4 times, but it's a history of humanity. And the middle of the book is the history of money. And the book Think and Grow Rich is about money, right? Growing rich. It's more than that. It's about growing a rich life. But how do we become rich? And the book Sapiens, like Homo sapiens, Sapiens talked about the history of money and how it came to be. And I think we learned this in school, but we didn't really learn the whole full story. But essentially, all money it's a store for value, right? We trade something of value for money, and we store that value in the form of money until we trade that money for something else that we value. And we make up this whole story in our head about we get so stressed about money. We think it's real and it's cold hard cash or it's our credit card, but it's really it's fake, right? It's literally made up. It's a figment of the human imagination. And the only reason that your money in your bank account right now is worth anything is because everyone else in the world has bought into the idea of believing it's worth something. Isn't that crazy? The only reason it's worth something is what if all of a sudden tomorrow China said, no, we don't use money anymore. We can no longer buy goods from China because our money's not worth anything to them. It's absolutely crazy. But the key is it's just a store for value. All we do is trade value for money. So a great example is like someone who's young and beautiful, male or female, doesn't matter. They're young, handsome, beautiful, whatever. Their beauty is value, but their beauty is fleeting, right? They're going to get old. Their beauty's going to fall away. When they're young, they might choose to be an actor or an actress or a model, and they trade that beauty for money while they can. They store that value of beauty in the form of money, so then years later they can use that money to invest in other things. So I'm going around in circles here. You probably have no idea why I'm talking about this, but the reason I say it is because money is nothing but a store for value. And if we look for quick ways to cheat the system or do something, we're never going to get anywhere. If we look to just do the bare minimum and just get by, we're never going to get anywhere. But if we can find a way to trade massive amounts of value, we can get massive amounts of money back. And specialized knowledge is the key to that. If you're not willing to level up your skills and learn new things, why do you think your value is going to increase? Why do you think your money is going to increase? The person you are now is worthy of the income you have now. I'm worthy of a 3-star income. If I want to be platinum, I need to learn the skills that people like my mom know, people like Emily Vavra know, people like her and Patty say, hey, I have to learn their knowledge. That's the only way I'm going to have the value to trade and get that money back. It's a law of money. It's how it works. And that book, Sapiens, really taught me that. So it's crazy, but that's why we have to commit to being on these calls and learning the skills and going to the events, even if you're bored of it, even if you're tired of it, because it teaches you how this knowledge that you can trade for money in the form of value. So anyways, I don't even remember what I'm asked here.
You're on the master positivity and dismiss negativity.
Yeah. So everything you guys gave me at the beginning that you're struggling with is nothing but a belief, right? Everything you said, cost, objection, money, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's nothing but a belief. The facts are there's 7 billion people on the earth. The facts are we have a $1 billion a year company with nutrition products that can help people. The facts are you can make up to $13,500 a week in the compensation plan and then open a new one. The facts are that. That's the facts. Everything else is nothing but belief. It's nothing but the way you perceive it. So you can say, oh yeah, people don't have money. People don't have money. Well, why is it that somebody enrolled 200 people in Isagenix last year? They found people that had money. Or you might say, like, I don't have time, I have a full-time job. Why are there hundreds of stories of people that had full-time jobs and got out of them? Well, you don't understand, Tyler. I also have kids, and I got, I'm working on my marriage, and I'm working on this. There's always someone that's had it worse than you and has done better. There's people that have had it way, way worse than me and have been way, way more successful than me. And I remind myself of that every day when I'm feeling like I'm struggling. And the only difference is the way we perceive things. That's it. The same wind blows on us all. The same wind blows on us all. It's not the wind that makes the difference of where we're going. It's the set of our sail. And the set of our sail is the way we perceive the world. So you can go through life with little glasses on that make everything look negative and look horrible, or you can go through life with awesome glasses on where the picture's amazing and the colors are beautiful and life looks great. And that's going to determine how you see things. Every single one of us gets people that says, sorry, I don't have the money right now. And I see it time and time again. Some people are like, Tyler, I can't do this. Like, nobody in my network has money. Sorry, I got to quit. And then there's other people who are like, oh, interesting. Well, let me go find someone else who does. But let me reach out more. Or maybe they even perceive it as, hey, I know they have the money. They just don't see the value in it yet. But it's nothing but a perception. It's nothing but a perception. And this all comes from the subconscious, which I think was the initial question. No matter what you tell yourself, like, you can get on these calls and get fired up and say, I can do this, and people have the money and I'm going to go do it. But if subconsciously, if you don't believe it, if you still think nobody around you is going to buy this and you don't have what it takes, then you're just going to continue to have these situations pop up where it doesn't work. And, it's a lesson I really, really had to learn the hard way. Just continuing to face the same thing. Like, kept telling myself, I'm too young. I'll get there eventually. Like, all my friends are in college, just out of college. They can't afford this. Here's the biggest one. I'll leave you with this. The biggest breakthrough I had here. When I got started, I was convinced, I was 21 years old. I was convinced that nobody my age could possibly afford a value pack. And you guys on this team are teaching me do ultimate pack, value pack, basic pack. I'm like, what? There's no way. Nobody's like, I can barely sell a basic pack. I can barely get anybody to buy a basic pack. So then I started telling myself, all right, I'm just going to do customized packages. I'm going to get people 100 BV. I'm going to do the AMP performance line because my friends work out. And that's what I'm going to do. And I wasn't growing at all. I wasn't getting PIBs. People weren't reordering because I wasn't following the system that works. What is the system that works? Ultimate pack, value pack, basic pack. Give them 3 options. Let them choose. A lot of times they'll choose the middle one, which is the best one, the value pack. But I wasn't doing it because I kept perceiving that my network was not going to afford it and buy it. Kept perceiving that. So I learned the hard way. And then I went back and practiced this and practiced it and practiced it and practiced it and started to get better at it. I started to believe. And then it started to happen in reality, and then I really started to believe. I started helping people that were my age. We started on value packs. And now today, I just got a 19-year-old join me on a value pack this week because he saw the opportunity in the vehicle. Caden Paquette, recent Crystal manager, going for a Crystal director and executive this week, 19 years old, got started on a value pack, has already made a couple $1,000s in Isagenix. Those people were out there the whole time. Caden was there the whole time. These guys are out there the whole time, but I didn't see them. Because all I was focused on was my little negative world of nobody can afford it, nobody can afford it, nobody can afford it. That's the power of your perceptions.
Yeah. Change your story, change your life. That's one of my favorite Tony Robbins quotes ever. And it's so much the story we tell ourselves over and over again. And if you're not getting what you want out of your business, look at your story and the story you're telling yourself, and you might need to change it. It might be time to change it. All right, Susan, we're down to the last 2. The brain. How important is it to associate with other smart people and learn from them? We've touched on this a little bit, but let's hear your take on this one.
Well, there's a theme here. If everyone's taking notes and really paying attention, it's all kind of the same thing recycled over and over again. And it's about who we spend our time with, right? who we're communicating with, who we're talking to, who we're listening to. And, you know, this ties in. Could you just say that question again?
Yeah, it's the brain. Associate with other smart people and learn from them.
Okay. So, like you said, the circle of 5, but I'm so thinking about what Tyler said, because it is all perception, right? And, you know, I'm seeing it right now, and we're all seeing like the grocery store, right? and I'm just not going to get sucked into that mentality of what people are thinking right now. So you get to choose what kind of mentality you're going to associate with. And we can be either in the camp of lack or the camp of let's figure this out and this is going to be fine. So it all, you know, I think we're just at a point right now with all the lessons we're learning here, they all intermingle. It's all about perception. It's all about belief. It's all about who you're going to follow and who you're going to align yourself with. It's don't overcomplicate it. It's easy. You know, when someone's negative, you can feel. I am actually really being very protective of who I'm talking to these days, to be honest with you. And they can be family members that I'm choosing to stay away from. They're not on this call, and I don't think anyone will see it. So it's okay. But it's really, I am choosing who, because I feel a certain way when I'm with someone and where their mental state is. So, you know, I don't think it's important that you have to be with the most brilliant person in the world, but I think it's important that you are with the most positive people, the people that are proactive, the people that are looking for a way in, you know, not just copping out. And so, you know, it's all the circle of 5, but especially right now, you guys, when Tyler was saying that, it was just like, yes, I didn't even want to take notes, Tyler. I'll just go back and listen, because it was like, yes, you know, it's so true. What, you know, what we focus on, we find.
Yeah. So true. So true. All right, John, you're going to bring us home on the 13th point. And this one is, how important is the 6th sense? Trusting your gut. Trusting your gut in network marketing and Isagenix.
That's absolutely everything. And I love how correlated these all are, because I feel like when you have a desire and you make a decision, it all becomes from that initial feeling in your gut. And that's what I judge all my decisions off of. If something feels right in my gut and my heart's telling me to go for something, I think that as a sign is go for it. And what holds people back, number one thing that holds people back when it comes to this, is they're so damn worried about what other people are going to think and say about them. They'll know in their gut that Isagenix is the right vehicle for them, that network marketing is where they're supposed to be, that this can be the vehicle to take control of their life, but they never go and actually take action because they're thinking about what Karen is going to say about them in the cube farm with their fellow cube monkeys, and they just won't ever take action on it. And, you know, it's sad to see, but that's really what it is. When you guys have that feeling in your stomach, when you know something's right and you know that this could be an opportunity, whatever it is, not even just network marketing, but any business venture, any idea you have, it all begins with that feeling. And it's up to you to take action on it, because at the end of the day, when you're looking back on life and the decisions you made and the experiences you had, the last thing you want is to be like, damn, you know, I really wish I gave that network marketing thing that network marketing thing my all, instead of worrying about Karen's opinion about me the whole time. So it really does come down to just go for it, guys. There's really nothing to lose. At the end of the day, like, what is the worst that can happen by you taking this opportunity and giving it your all?
Yeah, so awesome. And this is why we do these calls, you guys, because for this hour every single week, you are with, you know, we were up to 73 people who really are on the same path you're on, who have the same mindset that you have, but you've got to do it for more than an hour a week. You've got to plug into what your teams are doing. You've got to plug into your group, your circle of 5. If your circle of 5 isn't where it needs to be, this is a great time to up level it. I tell my kids this all the time, you know, when there's a new start of a school year, going off to college, you get to choose. This is a great time for you to make some new choices. Where can you up level in your life? And any of these 13 principles, where can you up level? I'm going to share this article with you guys after I post the video so you guys can read the whole article. John, Susan, Tyler, awesome job with absolutely no idea what I was going to ask them tonight. They totally nailed it, and I knew they would, because the bottom line is these principles are so important in every area of our life. And if you can master it here, you can master it somewhere else. And, you know, I've heard it said a million times, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And for me, like, I want to grow out of this experience. I want to be a better person. I want to be a better wife, a better mother, a better friend, a better business leader. I want to just soar when I get out of this. And I want that for every single one of you guys too. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I'm so excited to have this week with you. Be sure that you let everyone know about the free shipping special. That will really help with cycles for you. And people are ordering, and people are really, really into taking their health a little more seriously right now. And they're looking for you. So be sure you're doing what you can to reach out to them. Find the people who are looking for you. Find the people who are praying for an answer right now, because we've got such a beautiful opportunity, and we want to bless people with it. So thank you, Susan, John, Tyler. Love you guys. Have a great night, everybody.